So the question is very simple, that why are the leadership gaps widening in spite of so much more investment on training, leadership development program and assessment centers? And two is why companies are not able to prepare you for future roles. If you agree with this statement, then do give your feedback why, or give your comments so that we come to a common page. What is exactly happening? Okay, let's see the first response. So market dynamics are changing. Practical aspects is important with business objection mind. Okay. Thank you, Tao. Wonderful response. And let's hear it out from more people. Why companies are not able to prepare you for future roles? There are two questions in this, and think about it and let me know. In spite of the effort by the organization in terms of training, leadership program, and assessment centers that they conduct, why is it so? One more minute maximum, and then we move ahead. Okay, so Tao is saying that not balance between personal objectives with personal career aspirations. Okay. Okay, so Vineet is saying that company focus 90% on sales and target rather than developing people for future. Many times training programs need to be more focused and practical rather than a PPT presentation. So why companies are not preparing you? If you agree with this statement, then I'm glad to hear from you, because you guys are more closer to the market. You are all well connected in the marketplace, and you have the best of your ability to gauge this problem. And if you don't agree, I'm very happy to hear why you don't agree. Okay, wonderful. So the company is looking for instant result rather than, they are looking for your career development or developing you or preparing you for future roles. Precisely. So very rightly said, Rao, because people are more focused on sales target and they are looking at it because that's the core role that they expect, and they are only worried about their numbers, and they are keen to see that only that thing is achieved. But at the end of the day, when you talk to the HR in your organizations or any organization, they generally always have a problem that we don't have future leaders on the pipeline. They say that we don't have a leadership ready leadership team with us which can take to the next role. And every time they look out, when they have to hire people for the senior positions or the middle level positions, they look out to hire candidates from outside, and that brings a lot of resentment. And generally when you ask them that why you are hiring it from outside, the first answer that you get from them is because we don't have a pipeline within our system. Our current breed of people are not that competent and capable that they can move to the next level. And that's the most worrisome factor for any of the existing team that anybody would listen. But when you ask them, what are you doing? The general answer is that we are conducting a training program for them. We are doing certain things. But when you say about walk the talk, you generally find that these things doesn't happen. But the problem is that we need to really align ourselves is what's in it for me? What should I do? Because if I change the company from A company to B company, will it still solve my problem or not? Or if you hear it out that if I go to that particular company, I'll be able to achieve much more objectives closely than I remain in this company. So these are a lot of questions that are unanswered. And that is what we are going to discuss today. But more importantly, what is happening is that one of the most common reasons, more than 60% of the respondents have said that the disengagement at the grassroots level with the senior most people or the middle management is one of the major reasons that people are not connected and they are disengaged. And let's experience, what exactly is the reason behind it. So let's take this last response and then. So Harsh is saying that he can't hear my voice. Harsh, you need to really work it out because For me, I think people are able to listen and contribute. Okay, so if companies develop leaders within, that's always great in team environment, culture works, prices, understanding with self-commitment. Wonderful. So we are going to unleash this. We have a long agenda ahead and let's see. So we talk about this inspirational model, which is basically a leadership inspirational model where we are in this program. Our whole idea is that how we focus on self-leadership. When we talk about self-leadership is self-discipline, self-commitment, self-driven programs that one can develop oneself. And then once you are able to strongly build the self-leadership model, which is the base of any leadership, you would be able to lead by example. When you are able to lead by examples, you can start leading others. And once you start leading others, you become an inspirational leader. Now, to reach this journey, some people may take some lot of time, some people take shorter time. What is important is how fast and how soon you realize this. The faster you realize this, the faster you understand the basic principles of self-leadership, the faster you move in your path. And I'm sure you would agree that somewhere people have been who have been moving ahead, whether they are peers in your company or they are somewhere else, they have definitely connected themselves to uh, reach that level faster because they were able to develop the self-leadership principles into their body and mind, and they were able to lead it a little faster than others. And I'm sure there are leaders, you would find that in your organization or outside, you generally call them that they are leaders just by designation. And when you say that they are leaders just by designation means that you normally say that, you know, he's not fit for this role. He's not fit for that role. Why and how he got promoted, God knows. So the answer to situation that is probably somewhere in this self-leadership principles, this guy or the person whomsoever it is not fulfilling the criteria. I think this is something very, very important. How many of you agree with this? Just type yes, I agree. And if you are not agreeing, you can always write, I don't agree. Okay, great. So if we really move fast and see what exactly we have stored for you. Now, I'm going to share some very basic principle. Dalian Goleman, who shared about 6 principles of leadership, which I think shared probably very early in our webinars today. I thought that I'll take a blend of that. That you know there are 6 leadership styles that Daniel Goleman has established long back with respect to his book on emotional intelligence, and he's the guy who actually highlighted about the 6 kind of leadership. Now, if you look at the left side, you will find that there are coercive leaders who demand immediate compliance, authoritative leaders who mobilize people towards a vision. They just motivate people towards a vision that is going to create a big impact. So these are authoritative leaders who take people along and take them ahead. Third is affiliate leaders. These are those leaders who create emotional bonds and harmony. They try to connect with people on one-on-one, and people look up to them for various situations when they want to. And they are the one who wants to keep harmony, means they want to keep everything in total silent and in a very goody-goody type situation. Who are democratic leaders? They are one who always build consensus participation before taking an action. So they believe, you know, it is like bringing everybody together. It's like participative leadership also it is called. Pace setting leaders. Now these are leaders who expects excellence and self-direction. Now they are the one who always say that, you know, I don't like less than 10. If 10 is the highest, they want always 10. And they believe that, you know, people should be self-directed when they have to approach. And the last one is coaching leaders. Now they develop people for the future. Now I want to ask you, out of these 6 leadership styles, which one is reflecting about you? Anyone who can think about which one is a reflection of you? Just type that reflection over here. That will give us an idea. Okay, coaching. So Vineet is saying coaching, Tao is saying coaching. MVS is an authoritative leader. Who else? Who else? Okay, authoritative. Jitendra, wonderful. Harsh, authoritative, wonderful. So now we need to look at it, what authoritative is and what coercive leaders is. But most importantly, what we all need to understand that leaders with best results do not rely on one leadership style. They keep changing their leadership styles as per the situation, as per the current demand is needed in the marketplace. So say for example, if I join a new place today and I'm very new to the system, I need to work towards, before I become authoritative, I need to work like a situation where I can invite people, I can learn from them. But if the situation in that market is very worse with respect to business, with respect to numbers, with respect to discipline, I would be behaving more like a coercive leader. So, but that cohesiveness is required only for a shorter period of time. If it continues for a longer period of time, this would be very harmful for a particular leader. Your team will run away from you. They will never be with you. They would always look at you as a threatening leader. They will not come to you. But when the situation demands, you need to be cohesive leader where you want to put up your point. Authoritative leaders is a reflection generally that comes is areas where you are authoritative. When you have the best of the knowledge of the market, when you have the best of the knowledge of the product, when you have best of the knowledge of people, so you actually mobilize people towards vision. You make them believe that yes, it is achievable because you have the authority in that. You are the best person in that situation who can do it. And most likely ideal way of leadership goes into the coaching leadership style where you are working towards. So once you have set the authoritativeness, you have set the vision, you have taken care of the discipline, you have taken care of the systems and the processes, you then gear up towards becoming a democratic or a pace setting or a coaching leader, and you shift your gaze as per the situation and as per the people. Now, this is one of the fundamentals of any leader or any situation that you are in. It can be an individual role or it can be a people role. You would be reflecting some of these areas in your day-to-day practice. So this is the most commonly practiced methods of leadership styles that one can imbibe. Let's move ahead. Now, we all are in a vicious cycle. Now, there is a vicious cycle that we are all in. Every day you come out of your house, you go for work, you join an organization with a lot of aspiration, motivation. You work for 1 year, you work for 10 years, you work for 5 years, you work in one market, you work in different markets. But there is a vicious cycle that you get into it, and that people have a habit of getting into a vicious cycle very fast. Now, what does this vicious cycle means here is that people are always looking for continuous development, and which is nothing wrong. You know, everybody wants, there has to be a continuous development in their profile, continuous development in their role, continuous development in their salaries, continuous development in their prospects for future growth. And to do that, they have to slog very hard, almost 6 or 7 days a week. And that's the need of the hour today. If you don't work for 6 to 7 days of the week, then what happens? You are not pacing up with the second part, that is increased competition. So because the competition is increasing, it is demanding that you need to work more and more. The more you work, you have to slog for more number of hours. Because I remember when I used to work in my early 20s, I very categorically remember that there were very few people who used to mention, you know, that I'm hardworking. There are people who were lazy or people were, less of resources. But today, 12 to 14 hours is a normal working hours that everybody is putting in, and still they are not very satisfied. Why? Because there's an increased competition. If there were only 2 companies or 5 companies, today there are 5,000 companies which are competing for the same piece of bread. And the more this competition is shaping up, the more is the effort is required from the individual. And because of this, when you are working like this, like into a vicious cycle, you are not satisfied with your current income. And when you are not satisfied with your current income means that you are not satisfied within. In spite of giving your best, in spite of giving your number of hours, you are into a state which gives you health problems. Why? Because you don't have time, because you are working like a 24/7 guy. And that's what is going on in the world today. You know, if you are sleeping, US is working. When US is sleeping, you know, you are working. So continuously, everywhere the data is exchanged like anything. And the demand of the work is more because there are hundreds of people who are ready to do your job. And today, you know, most of the places, the companies are not ready to train you. The companies expect that the moment you join, you should fire rather than aim, ready, and fire. They want you to fire right from the day one. And that's because they say that we are paying you salary up to that level. So we don't need, people who are going to get trained for 1 month or even 15 days. These days, the trainings don't even last between 3 to 7 days. And they expect the person to fire from day one because they say that we have hired you with the same relationship in the market and you have to respond to us with respect to the market realities. And that's where, you get into this kind of a vicious cycle. So my question to the group is that how many of you are in this kind of a situation? Just type yes or I. Just type I, a bold I. How many of you are in this situation? Okay. Who else? Okay. Wonderful. Okay. If not like this, wonderful. Can somebody mute their line because it's disturbing others? Okay. Okay. So as I understand that some of you, if not all, may be under this kind of a situation because we have to break this. But in order to break this, if you really want to do it, what people do when they think of that, if I have to perform more, if I have to have more development, or if I have to beat the competition, what they generally do, if they have to break this vicious cycle, they start doing, to achieve more and earn more, they increase the amount of work. They feel that the more I will work, the extra I will work, the better is that my earning potential will improve. Or they increase more number of hours. So either they increase the work, they increase the width, or they increase the depth of their work, so that they feel that, the more they do it, the more they will get it. And that's where a person at the end exhausts completely, and it's like a spiritually, mentally, physically, that person becomes a dead person. And friends, let me tell you that, this is one of the most common scenarios, that we are into this vicious cycle. We are always looking forward that the moment you go to your cycle meetings, or you go into a certain, programs where you are highly motivated, when you come back, you feel that, now I have to give more. And then you start realizing, you are giving more number of hours, you are increasing your work scenarios, but then at the end, you are not satisfied. Somewhere in the back of the mind, you feel that, there is something which is missing. Either I'm getting less paid for the more work that I'm doing, or I am not satisfied with the quality of work that I'm doing in spite of giving so many hours. Now that's the key difference that I'm trying to highlight, that how we can break this vicious cycle. Let's see further what exactly in store with us. Now, my question is that, do you really want to excel in your personal leadership journey? How many of you really want to excel? Because today I'm going to share a very self-generative formula, something that is going to work for you 100%. That's my guarantee. How many of you are really keen to experience a personal leadership journey that I'm committed that you are going to be always, it is going to be always useful to you. Okay, wonderful. Just type me. It will give me an idea that how many of you are really excited and alert at this moment, because I'm going to ask a lot of questions again, and I want you to think about those questions, and I want you to realize what exactly you can work it out on your day-to-day basis, and you have the answer within you. But the problem is we start looking out answers from outside. And today, with my entire coaching experience, my entire exercise of coaching will help you to be self-ready with this self-generative process. Great. So I'm excited. I'm also super excited to help you to connect with yourself. Now, before I move forward, tell me now one simple question. Have you ever failed to achieve something significant in life? Just say I. Have you ever failed to achieve something significant in your life? Okay, so many times people feel that, yes, they have failed, and even I have failed many times. And this has been like a very common experience that we all go through it. But the question is why? What happens? Why we fail to achieve something significant when we want to achieve something? Now tell me one very simple question. When people fail to achieve their goals, what are the reasons they give? What do you think that the reasons they give? Who do they blame, or what do they say generally when people fail to achieve their goals? Because even in this program, when we are talking about helping you, at the same time, I would like to discuss about what is your understanding with respect to when people fail, what generally they talk about, what reasons. So let me see. Circumstances or people, ambitious, someone else. So you blame who? Bad luck. Okay, let's see some of the reasons that I have mentioned, and then I want. Some people raise an issue with respect to time, money, lack of time, lack of money, lack of technology, or not understanding technology, lack of contacts, lack of experience because of my manager. How many times do you agree that this happens with you? How many times these resources, you start blaming resources around you? I didn't have enough time to do that. I didn't have enough money to do that. I didn't have enough contacts that I could have done that. I didn't have the experience. So what you do is you start blaming your resources. You start blaming your manager. You say that because of my manager today, whatever I am, it is because of him. Because when you don't achieve your goals, you start blaming things. You start putting blames on somebody, that is resources. But is this the real issue? Is this the real issue that people start blaming? Okay, so JP is saying it leads to negativity. Yeah, it does lead to negativity. But the question is simple, that when people fail to achieve their goals, what are the reasons they give? They start blaming, about the resources. But is it the resources, or is it the resourcefulness? Friends, let me give you a very big and a very simple difference. It's not the resources. It's my resourcefulness to use these resources makes me fail to achieve that particular goal at a given point of time. And what are those resources? That if you are resourceful, if you know that how you are more resourcefulness, you have the ability to use your resourcefulness of creativity, determination, love, curiosity, passion to resolve things, can help you to achieve your goals. But what people come with story, and they keep telling us that they don't have time, they don't have money, they don't have the understanding of technology. But they don't talk about their own resourcefulness, that how creative they can be, how determined they can be, how curiosity that they have developed to achieve something. They don't talk about that. Generally, when people will come and they say that I could not achieve this because of this, you blame somebody outside. You blame, rather than blaming yourself, you start blaming otherwise. So I'm not saying, that time, money, technology, and lack of money is not important. I mean, it doesn't happen. It does happen. But if I am resourceful, if I am into that state of resourcefulness, I will definitely be able to get that idea. Have you understood this? Have you got this point very clearly? Just type yes, I got it. If you have really got it, I can explain it again. So it's not about the resources, it's the resourcefulness of me, that how I'm going to get it. So ultimately it is your state of mind, it's your emotions, it's your decision that you take when you are deciding to achieve something. Great. Now, very simply, I want to ask you some question. How do you feel when somebody doesn't listen to you? How do you feel that when you come to know that your manager or your subordinate has complained against you, or your manager fires at you, or the manager doesn't support you when you are raising a point and he just asks you to stop? How do you feel at that time? You feel angry? You feel bad? And what happens? What kind of emotions that comes in your mind? What kind of state you are at that point of time? What kind of state you are in when you listen and hear this? Furious. You feel furious. You want to find alternative. You feel anxious. And that's what I'm saying, that's your emotions. It's not the resources, it's the emotion. Now think about a different scenario. You feel great when your name is announced in the open meeting, and somebody reads appreciation about you, or somebody appreciates you in the open meeting. What do you feel at that time? Joyful. Wonderful. Thanks, Rob. So when you feel joyful, when you feel excited, when you feel cheerful, what happens? You are into an emotion that you have achieved something. And that's what, friends, that brings to me a very important point, that what makes these emotions actually helps us to take our actions, because that is something which is within us that helps us to take action like this. So what I mean that, there are three decisions that decide our destiny. Whatever we do today, whatever I am today, whatever you are today, whatever things around you today, is mainly the decisions that have decided your destiny. And these are the three decisions we are making every moment of our lives. And I'll show you what exactly we do, whatever we want to do. Today, you attend this program is a decision that you have made. And had you not made this decision, I'm sure you would have been doing something else. So what exactly you have done is, what am I going to focus on? What are your feelings? When you focus on something, your feelings comes out. In very simple words, your emotions, what kind of a state you are in. And how do you feel when you attend this program, or anything that you feel about it? Somebody feel good about when you kill somebody feel good about when they save somebody. So it's all about how you are feeling inside, and what you are going to focus on will decide your destiny. Number two, what does it mean to you when it comes to, is it the end, or is it the beginning? Sometimes when you feel that that you have not achieved your target for this month, or you have failed to achieve, or you have failed in your exam, or you have failed in your objectives, or you have failed in converting a customer, you have failed in making a big deal. Is it the end or the beginning? So what this feeling means to you, is it the beginning of something, or is it the end of something? Now that brings an emotion within us, and that emotional state helps us to find out solutions to our problems. And finally, are you going to be punished or rewarded based on what do you think? If you think that you have done something wrong, you would always think that, are you going to get punished or you are going to get rewarded? So the kind of feeling that you have within is going to decide, that decision at that moment is going to decide this. And finally, what you are going to do is, you are going to give up, or you are going to move forward. So that one single decision today, let's say that today you have decided to attend this program. Now, one single decision would have thought that, no, I'm going to move forward and I'm going to attend it. And there are many people who thought of it, but they said, okay, what is so big in it? And they decided to give up. They decided not to attend this program. And I'm sure all these three important things are taking place in your mind whenever you are taking the next move in your life. Had you not, now go back, think in your memory lane about the decision when you started your career, or you changed your last company. All these feelings, all these things have gone through in your mind when you were taking that decision. Just think about it. When you wanted to change your organization, when you wanted to achieve something, when you wanted to show the world that I would be the number one in my market or in my business, and that kind of an emotion state, the feeling, and you felt that this is the beginning of something that I'm going to do. And that's exactly my point, is that how you are going to build a state within you, and how you can remain in that state forever. If you don't remain in that state and you keep shifting your state, that's the key difference that I'm going to talk about outstanding people and average people or ordinary people. So how you are going to build that state, these are the decisions that decide your destiny. Now, as I said, some of you would have definitely thought about it when you joined this profession. Maybe you had a choice to choose some other profession. You had the choice to start a new job. So you wanted to start in this or something else. Something went into your mind that, what exactly am I going to do it? And that is something, our decisions are define our destiny. Whatever decision that you are taking now is going to define your destiny even tomorrow morning. So for example, I'll give you another example. So say for example, how many of you are a part of a gym? How many of you have been a member of a gym? Just type I. if you are, or if you have been in the past. Okay. So I see there are 2, 3 eyes that have come immediately. So so I will tell you for the benefit of those who have not been into gym. So generally, why do people join gym? People join gym because there is a purpose behind it. They join gym because either they want to lose weight, or they want to have a great body, or they want to go into something, like marathon, or they want to have a physique. That's the reason that people join gym generally. I'm taking the example of a gym so that I can connect certain things, because these days you see a lot of gyms around you in your nearby areas. So whenever people join such kind of membership, they have some objective in their mind. They have some purpose in their mind. And what happens? What happens when you go into the gym? One fine day, when you go into the gym, on your left hand side is a jacuzzi, and on the right hand side you see that there are dumbbells and there are a lot of exercises that the instructor is doing. Now you feel that, let me go to jacuzzi and take some, relaxation, take a nice bath, take a nice massage, and feel better. And you really feel better, and you come out and you go back. Next day again, you are highly motivated. You thought about it. You wore, all the clothes, nice shoes. And the moment you enter, you again saw on the left hand side is a jacuzzi, and on the right hand side is an option, where you can go. And you decide that let me go to the jacuzzi and take more relaxation. Now what happens? After a few weeks, you realize, this gym is not good. This gym is not giving me the right purpose that I joined. And somebody in this peak of this situation, he may come and ask you, so how's your gym going? And you say, this gym is not effective. It is not helping me to achieve my objective. I am not getting fit. I'm not getting healthier. You are not getting fit and you are not getting healthier. The only reason lies within you, because you never wanted to sweat out. You never wanted to use that kind of an environment that is given inside the gym. And precisely, friends, this is also happening with you in your organizations or in your situations you are in. You join the organization with a core objective of giving value to them. But what's happening? Now you are into a comfort zone and you don't want to struggle and you don't want to sweat out. And that's one of the reasons that people struggle a lot within the same role and same position, and they start blaming people around them. They start blaming their bosses, they start blaming the situations, they start blaming so many things around them, that why this is not possible. But what they have forgotten, that why they have joined that. And all organizations, and within you already, there's an inbuilt system the God has given, but we stop utilizing it. And today I will ignite that. How many of you are with me on this? Type yes. Did you find it? You are able to connect this. So right, I'm able to connect this. All right, connect. Great. Wonderful. And that brings me to the most important point today, that sorry. Okay. So that's what I was highlighting, when circumstances are unfavorable, ordinary people tend to lose control, whereas outstanding people remain in control. I repeat, when circumstances are unfavorable, ordinary people tend to lose control, whereas outstanding people remain in control. My question to all of you, what do these outstanding people have? I'm sure there are so many outstanding people around you, and you feel and you see that they remain in control even in adverse situations, even in difficult situations, even in unfavorable situations. They tend to remain in control, whereas ordinary people lose control. They tend to look outside for their solutions. So can somebody tell me why and how? Okay, wonderful. Right, Parihar, you are right. It is their resourcefulness. So what is resourcefulness? Self-awareness, emotional intelligence. They believe in themselves. So what is resourcefulness? Can somebody type and elaborate? Or they believe in themselves. What does it mean? I'll give you 60 seconds and I would look forward to your comments, because if you're able to understand this entire chain of things, you would be definitely able to take control of your life, your personal goals, and your self-leadership becomes very, very strong. Okay. So Tao is saying our ability to control and command. Wonderful. Vineet is saying appropriate use of resources available to achieve the desired outcome. Rao is saying understanding one's own abilities. Yes, absolutely. The ability to find quick and clever ways to overcome difficulties. And that is always within you. You don't have to move outside to find solutions from others. But what we do is we go out and we talk to others, whereas the solution lies within us. Now, that brings me a very important point of discussion. There are two invisible forces that shapes us, because we are a reflection of our emotion. Am I right? So if we are a reflection of our emotion, what does it mean? It means that even if I have the ability, but I'm not in the right state, I'm not able to deliver it. But if you are in the right state of resourcefulness, if you are in the right state of believing in yourself, your abilities, your skills come to the best of your use. How many times you would have experienced, oh, I have done it. Oh, did I do this? I don't believe that I was able to do this. When you say this statement, what does it mean? That your ability and your present state were together with you. And very important is that is your emotional state. Many a times you have seen that, people, I was watching a movie, Billion Dreams of Sachin Tendulkar, where he was highlighting one of the very important areas, that when the match fixing issue was highlighted, how the players were demotivated. The public had lost the faith on Indian cricket, and they had no belief on what Indian cricket is doing. And I'm sure this happens at various places, when even in politics, when people thought that people had lost hope in politics with respect to the kind of leaders and the corruptions that we had heard around us, then you will find that there are some people who use their ability and their current state in such a way that they not only inspire people, but they do it repeatedly and they do it very fast. So Sachin Tendulkar in that example showed how he was able to turn around the situation. And when they had to play, I remember that movie where they said that at that time they had the Australia series coming up, how Rahul Dravid, Lakshman and Sachin Tendulkar were able to create that kind of an aura where they beat Australia in a test series. And no wonder our politicians like, Narendra Modi, showed that kind of a situation where his ability versus his state, his emotions were able to fix and very well connect with people, that people voted for him. Because people were absolutely sad and they were in an emotion, they were full of anger about the existing state of the politics. And that's where he filled that shoe very clearly. But that was only possible because he used very simple principle of connecting himself in believing himself, and he became resourceful in achieving those areas. So your ability towards your state, and the second is, and as I said, our state with respect to our emotion, and second is our model of the world. How well you feel about emotion and you take action towards it. That's what I said. So what do you think internally, and how do you connect from your internal to the external world? That defines your ability to shape your career. And that's the core mool mantra of your self-leadership principle. Do you connect with this? Because this is something that I want you to think about it before I really move into the core exercise. Right. Wonderful. So now we are going to do a small exercise where I want you to connect to yourself, find a solution to your problem. And that's what I'm doing in my advanced coaching principles in terms of helping people to find solutions within them. I think there are a few people who are due, and I could not do the coaching session last time because I was a little out of station for some time. My laptop was not working. But from this week, as I committed, there are first 10 people whom I have decided to give them the free session of my coaching in terms of connecting to themselves. So I'm just going to take a small activity with each one of you, and I want you to be 100% present in this current stage. If you have some disturbance around you, please stay away from that, because I'm going to do a small exercise with you that is going to help you a lot. Now, I want you to, so are you all relaxed? Just give me a very simple thumbs up that you are all absolutely relaxed and you are absolutely in a disturbance free area. If not, I can give you another 30 seconds. You can find out a completely disturbance free area that will give me a clarity. Yes, this exercise is going to benefit you, because I want something to do it for your benefit. Yeah, please take 1 minute. I have no problem. So once you're done, I'll start then. So let's start the exercise. And I believe that all of you are in the right state. You're all well connected with me, and you are 100% giving your time with me at this point of time. So I want you all to simply close your eyes and come forward a bit from your seat. Don't take the rest on your back. Just try to come forward from your seat and close your eyes smoothly and gently, and put both your palms facing down on your thighs, and just close your eyes and relax in in and try to see behind the eyeballs, and focus on your breathing, and try to feel the friction of the breath on your throat. And while you are watching from the backside of your eyeballs, just try to look peripheral around you, around all the directions around you. And also keep focusing on the breath that you are taking and the friction of the breath on your throat. Now, in this current format, when you are more focused, open, and relaxed, I want you to just think about one of the most challenging problems that you are facing. Think about it in your own mind, a problem that is bothering you or coming as an hurdle to you every time you want to achieve something. Think about that situation, or that kind of a, it can be a situation, it can be a person, it can be your own growth, anything that you have thought about it. Now, whatever I'm going to ask you, keep your eyes closed for another few minutes, because I'm going to ask certain questions and I want you to do an introspection. And I want you to connect with your inner self by continuous simple breathing exercise while your eyes are closed. Now, if you have thought about the problem, there are a few questions that I'm now going to ask you, and you need to be little focused in listening and answering within your own self. And after that, we will take the feedback. So think, what's the problem you are having? And think, since when this problem is going on with you. Think, why do you have this problem? Think, who is to blame for this problem? Think, why you haven't why haven't you solved it yet? Now think about a reality frame. If you have answered some of these questions to yourself, keep your eyes closed and keep focusing on your breath. keep focusing and keep watching the back of your eyeballs and answer these questions yourself. Think about what specifically is the problem. Think what is really or precisely is the issue. Think, how is this a problem or a concern? How is this a problem? Now, within you, in your deep thinking, when you are trying to connect that what specifically is the problem, what is really or precisely is the issue, how is this problem a problem itself, I want you to come into a solution frame. And again, continue, breathe, and try to remain as focused as possible. And think, what do you want instead of this problem? Think, how will you know when you get what you want? Think, what will be your feelings when you succeed in getting what you want to achieve? Think, when you have succeeded in achieving something similar. Think, how can you succeed now? Think, what is the immediate next step? Think, how committed you are to take this step. And think, when exactly you will take this step. I'm sure deep within you, you have been able to understand what was the problem, what is the reality of that problem, and the solution of that problem. Now, feel the relaxation on your palms, going to your elbow, to the shoulder, and then to the back of your neck. Just raise both the hands, rub together, and put it on your eyes, and slowly open your eyes. Great. How has been your experience? If you want, I can open the mic and I can give it to people to speak and share their views. So raise your hand virtually and I'll open the mic from here. So I think Deepak has already opened it. So Deepak, you want to speak? Okay, so Harsh wants to speak here. Okay. Yes, Harsh, go ahead. How was the experience?
Sir, it was really amazing because usually we don't. Am I audible?
Yeah, you are very much audible.
Okay. So usually we face problems, and it's not that we don't think of a solution. We try to think of the solution, but this time this practice was, I think, the most effective method to, recognize the real issue behind the problem and find out the best possible solution. And this will not only, like, I'm trying to say that this is not the exercise which we have done, but for lifetime, whenever we'll face a problem, I think I personally will try to resolve that kind of problem by this exercise.
Wonderful. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Good job done. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me hear it out to Srinivas. Yes. Yes, Srinivas. I think Deepak, I think you are unmute. Would you like to speak something? Okay. Yeah, go ahead. Yes, Srinivas, go ahead.
Yes, sir. Yeah, thanks a lot, sir.
Just one sec. I think you are muted. Just one sec. I think by mistake.
Yes, sir. Hello.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
think your voice is breaking a lot. There is an internet issue. Anybody else who would like to give his experience? Okay.
Sir, I would like to share.
Yeah, go ahead.
Actually, it's a very
Sorry. Sorry, I lost your voice.
I think Srinivas is also to talk.
No, Vineet, I think you are on the mic right now. I can see your mic is green. Go ahead.
Okay. Thank you very much, Arun sir, for helping us to get to this conclusion that every problem is actually having the solution within that problem. And going deeper into the problem, you will definitely find a right solution to talk to the people or to the concerned person, or that you will get a reason for that a problem. So I really enjoy this exercise doing that, and I really hope that it is very helpful for me for my future problems. I will definitely, I will not extend my problems for the future to reach at least up to this level. We'll definitely use this tools as a very effective tools to manage our each and every problems. So thank you, Arun sir, for helping.
All the best. Yeah, Srinivas.
Yeah, sir. Thanks. Thank you so much for having this small exercise. See, most of the time, everyone is having the problem. So every problem definitely will have the solution. So most of the times, what I think about the problem only. It's 100% is about problem, not about the solution. But when we are facing any hurdle or any challenge, we should give the time. That's what lacking actually. That I could realize. So with this small exercise. Thanks a lot, sir. It's a lot of value in this.
Wonderful. All the best. Yes. Anybody else? Okay. Tao has to say something. Let me lower your hand and yeah. Just once.
Hello.
Yes. Go ahead.
Yes, Arun sir. During this exercise, I would come across an another point of view, sir.
Mm-hmm.
So, for an example, if a problem is, and that might be then different opinion also, sir. Most of the time, or some of the time, our problem is an external factor, or sometimes it could be the marketplace or other things. But definitely, solution would not be during this exercise. But I can now correlate that resourcefulness. I mean that our approach towards that solution would change now. So may not be we are not changing the market perspective or that external the factor which is affecting, but yes, our approach towards that will definitely deciding factor here. That's what I can come out of this exercise.
Wonderful. That's the whole idea. I mean, this is a small activity. When I have taken these sessions, these are all 1 hour sessions when I do it, which I just finished it in just 5 or 7 minutes. But that's a full exercise because I'm also developing some programs for people who wants to search jobs within 3 months or 2 months, or they have to give an interview. It's a very big interview, how to prepare them on this through this detailed exercise. So that's a separate thing. Yes, so let's hear it out from Harsh. Yes, Harsh, go ahead.
Sir, yeah, sir. So to add to Mr. Tao said, I would like to counter Mr. Tao that the problems might be due to market or external factors or whatever it might be, but I don't think this practice is only designed to give you a solution, but it can actually give you insight about more and more like what the problem is because of, and obviously the solution may be of different parts. Maybe it's external and the solution might not be in our hands, but we have to deal with that problem anyhow, and this practice can help us in dealing with that problem better and more efficiently.
No problem. Absolutely great. So I hope you all had a wonderful experience within you, and I look forward that you take benefit out of this. And very soon I'm going to define and design some new coaching programs for people in terms of enhancing their capability or enhancing their performance levels or enhancing their activities with respect to the promotions or the appraisals that they are looking forward. All these are going to come into a lot of coaching programs very soon. So I hope you find this program interesting. And that brings us to the last part of our very quick slide. And that is what we say that, you know, you need to caption this, what this slide means to you in particular. and that gives us an idea that how exactly you feel about it. So any caption that you would like to give as per your own feelings and understandings. Okay. Great. Excited for a rising opportunity. Yes. Thank you so much. Rao is saying that live with passion, unleash your potential, happiness. Yeah, that's what we all want at the end of the day, is feeling fulfillment of our day has to be good. We should feel fulfilled about what we have achieved so far. Thank you very much. Once again, I'm Arun here, and I'm so thankful to each one of you. Do share your feedbacks on WhatsApp groups or wherever you feel that we can spread more happiness and make people more aware that what they can get out of these programs and the benefits out of it. Thank you very much once again. This program was recorded, but we'll see that how we will be able to share this recording soon. Thank you very much once again, and good night. And we meet next week, 10th of April, with a new agenda on our hand. Thanks a lot.